And welcome back, everyone, to Speed Round. Who would win Speed Round 16? Happy Easter, by the way, if you celebrate Easter. If you don't, still Easter, so happy Easter. It's like saying Happy Friday or Happy Saturday or Sunday or whatever. So happy Sunday Easter, or Easter Sunday, as it actually said. And so it's Speed Round. I have six different Speed Round suggestions here, so let's get into it. And as you can see, we're starting off with pretty fun, pretty easy one. Alice asked the question, who would win a fight, Manny the Mammoth or Sharptooth from Land Before Time? In essence, you're asking who would win a fight, a woolly mammoth or a T-Rex. That's basically what you're doing. Yes, Manny has a personality, absolutely, but he's still just a woolly mammoth. He's not going to, it's not going to be anything beyond what a woolly mammoth is capable of. The T-Rex is a T-Rex. It's not going to be anything beyond what a T-Rex is capable of. So, when you just break down the size, it's really just going to be who wins in a fight between a woolly mammoth and a T-Rex. Now, a woolly mammoth size. How big is a woolly mammoth? Let's have a so males generally seem to reach a height at the shoulders of around 11.5 feet and we're between 3.9 and 8.2 metric tons. Okay, and then we know Manny is a male woolly mammoth, so that would be the size of a woolly mammoth. The size of a T-Rex, real quick. T-Rex size comes out to about 40 feet in length, 12 feet in height, and a weight of about 11 to 15.5 tons. Unless Manny gets a lucky shot in the jugular or something like that, he's unfortunately going down. Now, surprisingly, the T-Rex is not much taller than Manny is. The Sharptooth would not be that much taller. It's like that big of a, literally like half a foot difference, basically, more or less, at Manny's peak. But weight-wise, it literally, maxing both these guys out, the T-Rex is literally double Manny's weight. And you factor in that the T-Rex theoretically has a bite force of almost like 12,000 psi. For context, the strongest bite force in nature right now is a alligator or a crocodile. Pick your poison. Both have immense bite force. That's roughly, I believe, around like 2,000 to 3,000 psi. 4 for like the biggest ones. So that means a T-Rex triples the biggest bite force on the planet Earth currently, as we speak right now. But you're also factoring that they have this bite force with a mouth that big and giant steak knives for teeth that are serrated and will slice through flesh like butter. Sharptooth gets one bite in on Manny, Manny's done. He grabs Manny's trunk, the trunk's gone, Manny's just screaming like, ah, then just, Manny's dead. And this is unfortunately a very brutal and unfortunate scenario for, a beloved character from childhood. But, yeah, Manny would get completely owned in this fight. Next up, coming from Seth Xenomon Official, we have Sailor Moon versus Deku. Again, from a power, there's a reason I put these in speed rounds, because Deku's got a lot of cool abilities. I'm currently going through the Naruto One For All video. Naruto having all these abilities from One For All is really cool. He's immensely strong, can deliver really cracking hits, has a bunch of cool quirks, including Gear Shift and Fajin, which can amp his abilities even further beyond, even manipulate his opponent with Gear Shift. But Sailor Moon can literally blow up universes. So, that you're talking about someone who at best might be planet level. And I don't even think Deku really hits at planet level, to be fair. Unless for some reason he's able to literally manipulate the rotation of the Earth with Gear Shift. If he could, I didn't even think, I've never thought about that until I just said it. I don't think Deku can. I think Deku's got to be at least aware of the whole physicality of what he's touching, the entirety of what he's touching. But in theory, could he theoretically stop the world from rotating? I have no idea. I really don't, or just increase its speed. I really don't know. I'm going to go on a limb and say he can't, but I don't know. That question, I'll answer that question, by the way, about the Rasengan and Gear Shift in the next next part of the One For All video on Wednesday. Because someone asked a similar question about Naruto's Rasengan, if he could speed up the process of making a Rasengan with Gear Shift, or speed up the rotation of the Rasengan. But point being is that with all of Izuku's arguably got more variety than Sailor Moon does, and that's arguable. I think Sailor Moon does still have a lot under her belt, but yeah, Sailor Moon can literally blow up galaxies, and universes. So, unfortunately, no, Deku cannot compete with Sailor Moon. Then coming to us from James, just James, asked the question: who would win a fight, Spider-Man or a Greninja? Greninja's a really cool Pokemon. The tongue scarf is a unique concept. It could have been done worse, I think. I'll be honest, I'm actually a Chestnut stand. I like Chestnut a lot more than a lot of other people do. I go with Chestnut when I play when I went with Kalos, and I liked Chestnut more than Greninja. I've used all three, by the way. I'm one of the people who doesn't hate on Delphox. It's not the best Pokemon. They could have done more with the design, but I do not hate Delphox. But Chestnut was my pick, then followed by Greninja. It does make us wonder. I have a feeling we might see Mega Evolutions for the Gen 6 starters, because we're going back to Kalos and Pokemon AZ. Side noting real quick, obviously, I'm talking about Pokemon AZ. Because it's the Legends games, we're most likely not going to be getting the Kalos starters as our starters. We're going to give a whole different selection of starters. They may have alternate Kalosian evolutions, but just like in Legends Arceus, you can go out and catch the original starters. So, and we know for a fact that Mega Evolution will be back, and that there will most likely be new Mega Evolutions. So it would make sense that there would be Mega Evolutions, I think, for the Kalos starters, which, when you think about it, didn't make a lot of sense. You got the Kalos starters, you introduce Mega Evolution here, but you don't give the starters of that gen a Mega Evolution. That doesn't make any sense. I imagine Greninja probably gets a lot more stealthier, probably adds like some black on its design. I imagine Delphox probably gets more mage-like. Maybe its wand turns into like a Gandalf-like staff. It gets a hat, all that. And I can see Chestnut turning into this giant spiky ball of death and kind of rolling up like an armadillo almost. That's my thought process anyway. So Greninjas are pretty stealthy. Water Shuriken is a cool ability. Protean for its ability is a broken ability from what I understand, and you can even do Ash Greninja. Doesn't matter. Most Pokemon in the Pokemon world could not even come close to competing with Spider-Man. Spider-Man is not even anywhere near close to the strongest character in the Marvel Universe. Not even near. Even by Earthbound standards, there are plenty of characters that completely outclass him. But that being said, you're still talking about a guy that can lift tens of tons with just his pure strength, has a spider sense to react to anything around him, webbing that it can hold helicopters, so it could easily bind a Greninja. He's a skilled fighter, genius, and has he can do what a spider can. He can crawl on a wall, all that. This is not a fight that Greninja would be able to win. This is not a fight that Greninja wins. Greninja doesn't even fall into the same category as Spider-Man. Honestly, I don't know. Pokemon against like Marvel characters is a really interesting concept, because I don't know how you could scale certain characters to other characters. For example, if I threw Greninja at like Colossus, that would arguably be a more fair fight, because Colossus is just a brick shithouse. That's all he is. He's a physical powerhouse. But that doesn't mean that Greninja would still be able to beat him. It just means it'd be a more fair fight, because Spider-Man has a lot more going on with him than just physical strength. Whereas if I threw, say, Giratina at Spider-Man, well, now Spider-Man has a problem, because now you have a guy who's literally manipulating gravity, possibly antimatter as well. Now you're talking about a Pokemon that could actually tear through a giant chunk of the Earthbound Marvel heroes. Point being is that Greninja is not going to be able to handle himself against Spider-Man. So unfortunately, yes, Greninja would get his frog cheeks clapped here, I think. Then we have, coming to us from, oh god, what was the name of this person again? Bruce Ivy 88. Is that a whole shipping for, Batman and Poison Ivy? I can dig it. Who asked the question, who would win a fight? Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet versus Freddy Krueger. Now, in the real world, obviously Freddy would get dusted, no problem. So we're clearly looking at Freddy in the dream world. First off, the problem with that immediately becomes this would never happen. And I don't mean like Freddy and Thanos couldn't meet in the dream world regularly. I mean, because of the Infinity Gauntlet and all the power it gives him, Thanos doesn't need to eat, drink, or breathe, or sleep. He's a god, pretty much. He doesn't need to sleep. So there's no way him and Freddy could interact. In a hypothetical where Thanos just decides, very well, I'll rest for a little bit, and does decide to take a nap, and Freddy's like, "Oh, hello there, Thanos. You seem like a pretty fun guy." Who are you? And Freddy just tries to attack him. Because he still has access to all 6 Infinity Stones, even in his sleep, and because 2 of those stones are the Mind Stone and the Soul Stone, there's no way on Earth, there's no way in the cosmos, Freddy would be able to do anything against Thanos. Because even in his dreams, he has access to these things. The Soul Stone is sentient, so if it senses Freddy, it might just try to suck him in there. Even so, the Mind Stone gives him such mental ability, the mental abilities of pretty much all the universe, pretty much. Like, the strength of the universe's mind, if you would call it like that. Like, the Power Stone is all the power that has existed, exists, and will exist. That it is the representation of all the power in that universe. Each stone is a representation of all of its concept in the universe. The Mind Stone and Soul Stone, no exception. So, yeah, Freddy, it's like Freddy walks into the wrong house, basically there. So, yeah, Freddy would get clapped by Thanos. Then we move on to, from HS Sons, Michael Myers versus The Mask. This is another one where this is just a very mismatched fight. Michael Myers, even if you go into supernatural concepts that he could be, and has been before, there's nothing he can do against The Mask. There literally is nothing. He can stab him and say, "Oh, oh, woe is me," and Faster starts singing and just blow him up. Michael can do nothing against The Mask. The Mask is the purest definition of a gag character. Toon Force gag force, whatever you want to call it. He's the purest definition of it. There is nothing Michael Myers can do to The Mask. Now, there was a character in the comics, and I remember this from I can't remember his name. I remember it's from the Nostalgia Critic when he talked about The Mask, who was this giant hulk of muscle, and like The Mask and him kept duking it out, and he could do whatever he wanted to The Mask, and like he was like, "Oh, you don't die when I do this. This is fun." And he was so powerful that even The Mask was like, he couldn't just put him down that easy. So you could make the argument that The Mask, this could be a similar scenario to that, where The Mask couldn't put Michael down. The problem is, though, is that as superhuman as Michael has been, this is not the same thing, I think. That guy, first off, was a comic book character, so he was also kind of ridiculous in his own way to being that big of a muscled guy, could take that much damage. Michael, for as durable as he's been, or enduring as he's been, still takes a lot of damage. Like, he still gets hurt. He still clearly feels pain. Whereas the other guy either did feel pain and liked it, or didn't care, or just didn't feel pain. So even if you want to make that argument, I just don't think Michael survives a confrontation with the Mask. Which brings us to our last category here from James Riley. Who would win a fight? Beerus versus Kat Noir. Now, Kat Noir, I've seen come up multiple times, and I've never watched this series or whatever. If Kat Noir does have the ability to pretty much just negatively affect anything, and usually uses this ability to just destroy like substances, but he can just negatively affect things as well. Apparently, Kat Noir did hit with turning into Cat Blanc, did become like a universal level threat of power. The problem with that is Beerus is a multiversal level threat of power, and he's just a universal level threat in a universe that's much bigger than the normal human universe. So again, it's universal versus universal, but when you talk about your universes, how big are they compared to each other? Also, Beerus could easily just Hakai him out of existence before he ever used his version of Hakai. And even so, it's a matter of power, not necessarily what you can do. As we've seen, power can be resisted by equal or greater power. Kat Noir doesn't fall in that category, because on his own, he doesn't have that power. And using that power of, I can't remember, Cataclysm, that's what it's called. It drains his own energy. So Beerus would really just have to outlast him and just be like, "All right, that was interesting. You're not really a destroyer, and you mock my profession. Be gone." Boop, and then just done. So, yeah, Kat Noir would probably get, again, cat clapped by Beerus, unfortunately. But that is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you agree with any of my opinions, my results, if you will? on this video, or do you disagree with all of them? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, if you want us to review something or do a video on some topic, let me know in the comments below. There's very little I don't do, but there are some topics that I just look at and I don't even comment on because I'm like, no, I can't do that. So until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you later.